Hey everybody, welcome to That's Peculiar. I'm Nathan.
I'm Andra.
And we have a fun episode today. It's the number 2 for those of you who are keeping track.
Superstitions!
Woohoo! Superstitions today. I'm going to give a PSA. I have a migraine. So if I look weird or act weird, that's why. I'm not under duress, I promise.
You look fine.
Great.
But I am glad you gave the PSA. Nathan's still also recovering from the cold, so
My upper respiratory infection. Woo.
Yeah. If any of you have ever thought that we're not going to power through, think again.
Just kill me. It's fine. All right. And Andra has a fun fact today. I don't.
Yeah, so polysorbate 80, I just learned this. It's
What?
in polysorbate 80.
Okay,
It's
is
a
that like Red
chemical.
40?
Sort of. It's a chemical that they add. It's in like Vicks pickles. I just looked and it's actually in the Crystal brand of heavy cream. Why the hell is polysorbate 80 even in that? I don't know. But what it does, polysorbate 80 breaks down the blood barrier in your brain and essentially like opens it up, and then it leaves your brain exposed to toxins. And this is in pickles, it's in heavy cream, it's in crackers, it's in all kinds of stuff. So there's my little fun fact, but also watch out for polysorbate 80.
Not a fun fact.
It's a
That's concerning.
fun fact. Our food is crappy.
Our food's been crappy. I wish we adopted more of like European standard for our food products.
Mm-hmm.
That would be much better.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Pause.
Okay, sorry. William is in a very big mama phase right now, and he just tried to bust down the door.
Let me in or I'm going to break it down.
Yeah, he's like, I'm coming in no matter what. Okay, so as we stated today, we have the second superstition episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a pretty fun one. I tried to go with, obviously, ones we haven't done, but I try to kind of stick with a theme-ish.
Oh, okay.
I didn't necessarily on the first one, but this one to me is like good luck versus bad luck a little bit. That's what I was kind of trying to go with. So,
okay.
First, we have Friday the 13th. What?
I was just laughing when you're like, I was trying to do stuff that we hadn't talked about before. I mean, I hope so, because that'd be kind of boring if everybody heard the...
Could you imagine? I'm like doing knock on wood again.
Knock on wood again.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's different things, but up front we have Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So this is long considered like a harbinger for bad luck. Friday the 13th has, as most of us know, like inspired like little tales, stories, novels, horror film franchise. And yeah, there's actually terms that I didn't know, and
what
these terms are what's the word? They're scary. They're a phobia in themselves. So Friday the 13th is known as, like the fear of Friday the 13th is known as parascavatriophobia.
Can you say that again, but faster?
You're a dick. Parascavatriophobia and frigatriskydecaphobia. That describes...
There's two different terms for fear of Friday the 13th.
Just the term themselves gives me a phobia, so if anyone knows what that's called, great. But it describes...
There's a fear of long words, and it's a hella long word. What is that word? Oh my gosh, I'm going to look it up.
That is ridiculous. There's a fear of long words, and it's a long word.
Yeah. But keep going.
Those two terms describe fear of an unlucky day.
Okay.
They are so long. Like, and I did look up how to say these. That's the best I can do. If I'm saying it wrong, I did look it up.
Okay, here's the word that is fear
Yeah,
of long
so
words.
fear of long words.
The fear of long words is called hippopotomonstrosiquidipedophilia. Let me try that again. Hippopotomonstrosiquipedaliophobia.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go.
So who comes up with these phobias?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's uncertain exactly when this particular tradition began. Negative superstitions have obviously swirled around for a number of centuries with the number 13. So 13 and a lot of different things are considered bad luck. 13, the number, is just considered bad luck.
Yeah.
So according to biblical tradition, 13 guests attended the Last Supper.
Oh, yes. I've heard of this one.
Held on Maundy Thursday, including Jesus and his 12 disciples, apostles. Is it disciples or apostles? Because I read both.
Disciples.
That's what I thought, but apostles is another one that they say. The next day, of course, was Good Friday, the day of Jesus's crucifixion, which, like,
why is it Good Friday?
Thank you. Such a name. Like, okay. But the seating arrangement at the Last Supper is believed to have given rise to a long-standing Christian superstition that having 13 guests at a table was a bad omen. Specifically, that it was courting death.
Yes, I've heard this. I feel like there was someone that said that the first person to leave the table of 13 dies. Or something like that.
Okay, I'm getting to something that has something about dining, but I don't think it was about dining or death. But I do think I have heard that as well. I didn't find that in my journey today.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because I feel like I've heard there's like, oh, you were at a table of 13 and you were the first one to get up. You're going to die first.
I almost feel like that's in a movie.
I think it might have been.
Maybe we're just, but that sounds familiar, so we've probably seen the same movie.
I couldn't.
Interesting. I didn't find it in this, but though Friday's negative association is weaker, like there's not really a big thing as to like, okay, why Friday the 13th then? But some have suggested they also have roots in, like, Friday has roots in Christian tradition. Just as Jesus was crucified on a Friday, Friday was also said to be the day Eve gave Adam the fateful apple from the tree of knowledge, as well as the day Cain killed his brother Abel.
Where do these people get? Where do you? It had to have been a Friday.
They're just stating that it's a Friday. It's to me, it's so interesting that Good Friday is part of this because it's a bad Friday.
Terrible
like,
Friday.
The fact that it even comes up as being like, oh yeah, this was Good Friday.
Good Friday.
And it's just so silly to me.
Yeah, but I still don't understand. Like they're like, oh, Friday. That's the day that Eve gave Adam the apple. Where are you getting that?
We didn't even have Fridays then, so...
Did they have days of the week? Like, how do you...
No.
Okay.
It's just a speculation, obviously, but I think that's the only thing I could find about Friday. But 13 is the primary here. It's not Friday. In the late 19th century, I mean, it is Friday the 13th, but why Friday? It's not
clear.
Super clear.
Okay.
In the late 19th century, a New Yorker named Captain William Fowler sought to remove the enduring stigma surrounding around the number 13, and particularly the unwritten rule about not having 13 guests at a dinner table. So I did find something about dinner. I didn't find anything about them dying, but he wanted 13 people at a dinner table. So he founded an exclusive society called the 13 Club. This group of people seems like everything I read, so he founded it. It kind of seems like 13 people came to dinner, but the people kind of rotated, but the group dined regularly on the 13th day of the month in room 13 of the Knickerbocker Cottage, a popular watering hole. I know. It's a popular watering hole Fowler owned from 1863 to 1883. Before sitting down, so they were on the 13th day of the month, room 13, sat down to a 13-course dinner.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Members would pass beneath a ladder, and I know, it's freaking funny, and a banner reading More Turite Salutamus, which means those of us in line, for those of us who are about to die, salute you.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the only thing I found about death, but that's what they're saying. An important milestone in the history of Friday the 13th legend in particular occurred in 1907 with the publication of, obviously, the Friday the 13th novel, which is written by Thomas William Lawson. I'm tying these two together because I also thought their two names were very similar. But the group that dined, so 13-course meal, 13
Yeah.
everything, they would do everything by the 13th and do some superstitions that were not, like, they were known for bad luck.
So
And famous people are known to be a part of this group, including a couple of presidents.
that's fascinating. But I mean, to do 13 people, 13 day, walk under a ladder, and we're going to also...
13.
Room 13, and we're going to have 13 courses, and we're also going to do some superstition. That's tempting fate.
Exactly. He wanted to push the boundary. He wanted it gone.
Did anything weird happen to these people?
No, nope, not that I found. Nothing.
I guess superstition myth busted.
I don't know, because I have had a very bad Friday the 13th. Like,
Was it a
not
good
just
Friday?
No, I don't think. To be honest, when the hell is Good Friday? That's
It's
the day
in-
after Easter, right? The Friday after Easter?
It's the Friday before Easter.
Whatever, kind of. So, as I stated, I just wanted to tie these two together. I found it so weird that the person who created Friday the 13th, their name, so it's Captain William Fowler, and his name is Thomas William Lawson. I don't know why I found that so interesting. I just wanted to, like, tell people it's kind of strange.
Parallel.
Also, anything to me, the name William just stands out because of my baby. But it's like, I don't know. I thought it was so weird. It's like they flow the same too. It's so strange.
Yeah, they have a
But-
similar vibe.
Yeah. So, yeah. The horror movie Friday the 13th, released in 1980, it introduced the world to, obviously, hockey mask wearing killer named Jason.
Mm-hmm.
This, because of the movie, some people are arguing in some statements. I'm just going to say that this is the most popular superstition in pop culture history, possibly because of the movie Friday the 13th. The movie obviously had multiple sequels, as well as a comic book, novella, and video games. I didn't know it had a novella.
I didn't know it
And
had
I
video
didn't-
games.
I didn't know it had comic books.
That's interesting.
I thought it had video games. I don't know why.
I didn't know that. I also did not know that I had a comic book or a novella.
Yeah. Can you imagine a Friday the 13th novella
No.
starring Jason?
Starring Jason. No.
Yeah. And then obviously, according to the source, which is linked, it made terrifying Halloween costumes. So what bad things have happened on Friday the 13th? Have you had anything bad happen to you on Friday the 13th that you, like, remember?
No, I've always been like, oh, it's Friday the 13th. And then I go about my day.
I am usually stoked about Friday the 13th. I am like Captain William Fowler. I don't know why I've always loved Friday the
It's a fun day. Like, I always want to get one of those, like, flash sheet tattoos just because they're $13 on Friday the 13th.
What?
at tattoo parlors. They'll do like the Friday the 13th specials, and they're like usually like little tattoos about this big, and you get them hella cheap.
How do you even know about that?
How do you not know about that?
I even worked at a tattoo parlor, and he did not ever do that.
Oh, he didn't? I swear, I see Friday the 13th tattoo flash sheets all the time.
So when you're saying it, is it a small tattoo of your choice? Like any tattoo?
So they'll do like a select, like they'll design a certain amount, and then whoever
Okay.
comes in that day pays X amount of dollars, and they get the tattoo of their choice that has already been pre-chosen.
How many tattoos do you have, Nathan?
Only 3?
Yeah. How do you know about this?
I don't know. I follow tattoo people on Instagram. I like good
There it
tattoo
is.
work. Mm-hmm.
And so what bad things have happened on Friday the 13th? For me, I actually had 3 cats go missing on Friday.
On the same day, Friday the 13th?
Yeah,
Or like
so on the
different?
same. No. And what's funny is these cats I got at the same time. They were outdoor cats. So it's not like that unlikely where we lived as a kid, like where I lived as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that unlikely that something just got them all in one. But
Like a pack?
it was. I do specifically remember I was so upset and I was like, of course it was Friday the 13th. And I waited days though before I decided they were actually gone. So technically it was probably like,
Friday
Tuesday, maybe. But, well, it would have been
20th.
Friday the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah. But by Friday the 20th, I was actually like, they're gone, but they did go missing. And then I had one other thing. I just had a really bad day one Friday the 13th, and I was like, why am I having such a bad day? But I don't remember this day as much. And I looked at the date and time, and I was like, it's Friday the 13th, of course. But I am actually like a pro Friday the 13th. I think it's a fun day.
I do too. I'm more prone to being anti like full moon. Yeah. Like I don't sleep well during a full moon.
I get that. I don't
Yeah.
either.
The crazies come out during a full moon. Like even hospitals hate the full moon.
I always get my period on the full moon.
Good to know. Good to
Now
know.
you get to think of me every single time.
Every full moon, I'll be like, great. Andra just started her period.
No, it's somewhere in that time frame, but yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole group of girls that do though, and apparently we're like witchy type.
Werewolves.
Yeah, maybe. I'm game with that. That is so strange. I've never heard anyone who has an aversion to a full moon.
I don't like them. They just keep me awake, and I don't like it. I don't sleep well.
So it's weird that you say that. William plays with blinds.
Okay.
I know I'm going on a digression, but this episode isn't super long, so it's okay. William plays with our blinds. So Jack and I, ever since he was a baby, started sleeping with our blinds up.
Oh, that's the worst.
Actually, I love it. But I loved it when I lived in Alaska too. But the sun never went down. So I got used to I don't know. I got used to listening to my body. Anyways, doesn't really matter. It's not as hard of a transition for me. But when it's a full moon, I have the worst. And sometimes it'll be right behind our window. Those are the worst. I'm like, how can anyone ever sleep with this freaking glaring moon?
It's so bright.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, but it's like, I was the type of person who used to struggle when like I had a DVD player. Yeah, I'm not old. A DVD player or VCR, to be honest, that blinked.
Oh,
Did you ever have? I used to cover them with like a t-shirt.
You have to.
Or something. I was like, I can't do this. The moon, I can't cover with a damn t-shirt, and my kid will tear off our blinds, and we don't want to ruin them.
So with the full moon thing, though, is the moon controls our tides on the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I heard it's like a theory is that something about the moon being full, like just we can feel it differently on our bodies, and so it keeps us awake, and we don't sleep as well, or whatever, because we're now like 76% water or something like that. So it just affects us. That's just the theory I heard. But
I have
either
no, I
way,
have heard that.
I just do not sleep during a full moon.
I'm glad you mentioned it. That is so
Perfect.
interesting to me.
Yeah. Moving on.
So other bad things that have happened on Friday the 13th. So obviously on Friday, October 13th, 1307, officers of King Philip IV of France arrested hundreds of knights, a powerful religious and military order formed in the 12th century for defense of the Holy Land. They imprisoned on charges of various illegal behaviors, but really because the king wanted access of their financial resources. So many of the Templars were later executed. It's the Knights of Templar. Sorry, I don't think I said that. Some cite the link with the Templars as the origin of the Friday the 13th superstition. But, like many legends involving the Templars in their history, the truth is like a little murky.
Mm-mm.
I didn't dive into the Knights of Templar too much because they're murky. It's kind of all like up in the air.
There's so much you can end up digging into with Knights of Templar. There's so many
Yeah.
theories and stories and
It's actually something I want to do a whole episode on
oh yeah, it's fascinating stuff, but it's a
because
lot.
it's so fascinating.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not digging in, but don't give up hope yet. I might do an episode. So, in more recent times, a number of traumatic events have occurred on Friday the 13th, including the German bombing of Buckingham Palace. That was September 1940.
That was on a 13th of Friday. I don't. Wow.
The murder of Kitty Genovese in Queens, New York, March of 1964.
Who's that?
I don't know who she is, but it was brought up in this article, which is like,
It was just noted. Okay.
I assumed maybe you would know who she is, and I didn't look her up. I was just noting other bad things that had happened. A cyclone killed more than 300,000 people in
300,000.
Bangladesh. Yeah, in Bangladesh,
Jeez.
November 1970. The disappearance of a Chilean Air Force plane in the Andes, October 1972. The death of rapper Tupac,
That was
September,
That was a Friday the.
right? September 1996. And the crash of Costa Concordia cruise ship off the coast of Italy, which killed 30 people.
Oh, the Concordia was
January.
on. I didn't know that was. I didn't know the Concordia was Friday the 13th. I mean, I remember seeing that and being like, how does that?
I just dove
How?
into a couple of things that had happened. There's so many more that you can look up.
That's
Like, I could have been
crazy.
still talking for like 20 minutes of bad things that have happened on Friday the 13th.
Interesting.
I didn't want to do that. So now we're going to go to some good luck.
Oh, please.
Why is a rabbit's foot good luck?
I feel like I used to know the answer to this, and I do not remember.
I had a rabbit's foot
I
when I
never
was
did.
little, and it was red. I know this. It was red. Red used to be and is no longer, but when I was a little kid, I loved the color red. Who gave me this rabbit's foot? I don't know. And I walked around with it. Okay. So in some cultures, a rabbit's foot is carried as an amulet believed to bring good luck. This belief is held by people in so many places around the world, which I did not know, including Europe, Africa, Australia, and North and South America.
Whoa.
But way more than that. Like, those are just, it's all over the world. I did not know this and how deep it went. So there are mixed views on how this should be done and how it really got started. I tried my best to sift through, and I have linked the most show links on the rabbit's foot because I had to dive and dig and scrap. So here we go. The belief in North America folklore may originate in folk magic known as hoodoo. A number of, which
Interesting.
I think I actually maybe knew this at one point. A number of scriptures attached to the charm are now observed mostly in kind of is it true, is it not true? Namely, that it must be the left hind foot of a rabbit.
It has to be
So
the left.
that's what they're stating in these scriptures, but they're kind of take it or leave it, but so yeah, I'm saying this is what they state. It may not be true, but this is what it says. It has to be the left foot of a rabbit, which was shot or otherwise captured in a cemetery. This is in North American folklore.
Shot or captured in a cemetery.
Yes. Some sources tell that a rabbit must be taken by the full moon.
Oh.
And others, the new moon. I was really happy you brought up the full moon because I knew this was coming. You didn't.
No.
But it is very interesting. So some say the full moon, others say the new moon. You know what's interesting? I think I believe the full moon. You think it's bad. So why wouldn't you capture a rabbit? That's good luck.
I was literally just thinking, if I don't like the full moon, why would you want to catch good luck? How? Never mind. After talking through it, that would make sense. You want to catch good luck.
Good luck on a bad
luck day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I was thinking, but a new moon to you would consider also good luck. So that could also be I understand both sides. I understand your original thought and then your afterthought. I get it. So some
cemetery.
I dug and dug and dug. This is just North American folklore. I could not find anything that really stated why a cemetery. Weird. I think it's the only thing I can think of is cemeteries have a lot of death. I think it's the death of the moon. So I would think that would be during a new moon they capture a rabbit in the cemetery for good luck. I cannot think of any other reason, and I did so much research on freaking rabbits, but it is so weird the information that you find out there. Just for anybody who ever wants to start a podcast or do anything, you have to sift through. You're basically a sifter. That's it. Okay, so some say instead of the rabbit being taken on the new moon or anything, it must be taken on a Friday or a rainy Friday or Friday the 13th.
So it has to be Friday or a rainy Friday or Friday the 13th.
And if it's a rainy Friday the 13th, that might be best.
The best luck.
Yeah. Some sources say that it should be shot with a silver, bullet. Yep. While others say it must be the foot is just cut off while the rabbit is still alive.
Ooh.
Let's just hope that you don't listen to that, because I would rather you actually do.
I would rather you not kill a rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna eat the rabbit, sure, but I've never had rabbit meat, so.
Neither have I, but some people eat rabbit, so sure. That's when you do it. A rabbit is an animal in some opinion. No, sorry. A rabbit is an animal into which shape-shifting witches claim to be able to transform themselves, according to some sources.
A rabbit?
Yeah, so witches, in some sources, claim to say they could transform into a rabbit.
Interesting.
Witches were said to be active at times of the full and new moons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see. I
that's the point.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
So you're trying to
essentially like,
catch witches and you take their good luck from their
mhm,
left foot.
yes.
Hmm.
The rabbit's foot, in case you don't know, is dried and preserved and carried around by anyone who believes will bring them good luck. Rabbit's feet, either authentic or imitation, are frequently sold by shops and vending machines. Often these rabbit's feet are like dried and maybe have been dyed, which I had a red one. And it could be various colors. It's not just red. And they're often turned into keychains, which
Yes.
is what I had. I had a keychain.
Yes,
Few of these,
I often see them, but I haven't seen rabbit's feet
I
in
haven't seen them for a
stores.
long time.
Yeah, I remember you could go and you could find them, but I haven't like
Maybe
seen.
PETA got a hold of it and they were like, don't.
Don't, just don't.
Which I'm glad. Thank you, PETA.
Well, there was somebody in high school. Who was it? I don't remember who it was, but they had like a rabbit farm and they would make rabbit foot keychains because they used the rabbit for meat because they ate
I wasn't friends with that person.
them.
Can you see me okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Few of these rabbits' feet carry any like warranty concerning their like provenance or like evidence that, you know, they're not like saying they're grass fed or anything. There's no like really
We caught this
information about
rabbit in
them.
a cemetery on a rainy Friday the 13th in a cemetery.
Yep. So it's nothing to comply with rituals required for the original tradition.
They're just roadkill.
You're getting them in a gas station
Yeah.
or a standard convenience store or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There are little trinkets that you can find. Who knows if it's true or not, but some may be confected from fake fur and latex bones.
Interesting.
I wonder if that's what I had as a kid, and I really hope it is what I had as a kid. But I grew up in the 90s, so chances are I did not.
It was probably real, authentic.
The fact that I walked around with that as like a 5-year-old kind of haunts me a little bit.
5-year-old.
That's why I said I was so little. And
Dang.
I don't know who gave me this. I cannot remember. But I just walked around with this red rabbit's foot keychain thinking I was great luck. And now I'm like, weren't you at all as a 5-year-old like, where's the rabbit?
No.
Where's the rest of it?
No, I just have my lucky rabbit's foot.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. And I was like, cool, it's red.
I'm sure you showed everybody.
Yeah. I was a pretty shy kid, actually, so I probably showed nobody. But who knows? Anyways. So, related good luck ritual in Britain and the United States is to say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit upon waking up on the first day of a month to bring good luck. Have you ever heard that?
No.
Neither.
And I will never do it.
This is related to that. You say rabbit, 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 or rabbit, rabbit. I saw both.
No.
But first day of the month, I do find the first day of the month very exciting. I love the first day of the month. I've never once been like rabbit, rabbit.
No, are you going to start?
No. This is something I've never done, but allegedly, followers of this tradition include Sarah Jessica Parker and President Franklin Roosevelt, who also...
Wait, what countries did you say did this?
This is in Britain and the United States, where they say rabbit, rabbit, or rabbit, rabbit, rabbit on the first day of the month.
I've never heard. Okay.
Me either. Thank you.
If you're listening and you do this, please comment because I need to know.
Just tell us, please.
We need to
know. Yeah.
Do people actually do this or just some weird internet nonsense?
Apparently President Franklin Roosevelt also carried a rabbit's foot and did the rabbit, rabbit at the beginning of the month. The earliest written reference behind why people started saying, and this source said, rabbit, rabbit. So not 3 times, they said it twice. Or variations of rabbits or bunny, bunny. Maybe a 1909 issue of the British journal Notes and Queries. So this is the earliest reference of people saying rabbit, rabbit.
In 1909.
1909. This superstition.
I don't like that one.
So I don't either, but why?
What?
I mean,
It just sounds
you know what?
weird.
Actually, I'm going to go against the grain. I thought the same thing. Naturally, it feels weird, but I would rather people just say rabbit, rabbit at the beginning of the month than kill a rabbit for their damn foot. So
No,
maybe
they kill them to eat them, and then they keep the foot for luck.
But they didn't.
Who?
They.
Who's they?
Rabbit keychain makers.
Oh, the keychain makers? No, they're probably bred for their feet.
Exactly. The left foot, particularly, apparently. Do you think there's a bunch of rabbits walking around with just one foot?
No, I'm sure that they were for their foot.
You think?
Feet. And I'm sure that they didn't just use the left foot. I'm sure they used all the feet.
Oh. I'm just gonna convince myself that they did just the left feet, and there's a bunch of one-legged. They're alive.
That's awful.
They're alive.
No, that'd be that's so painful. Running around with a chopped off leg.
I think it. Yeah, you're right. But like, I've seen one-legged dogs or 3-legged dogs, and they live a happy life.
Sure.
I just want these rabbits to live a happy life.
Okay.
1909, earliest reference
To
in
rabbit,
the British
rabbit.
journal Notes of Queries and Queries. Yeah, rabbit, rabbit. The Superstitions also appeared in Trixie Belden, The Mysteries of Emerald. This is a children's book. I could not believe this popped up. I read Trixie Belden growing up. These are very similar to Nancy Drew. Of course, you wouldn't hear of them. They're old, but these are very similar to Nancy Drew. And my aunt bought me these. My aunt bought me the full series because we could not afford the Nancy Drew book series.
Okay.
So my aunt bought me Trixie Belden, and I could not believe when it popped up. I do remember that this was a thing. But like when I read it, you're just like, oh, she said rabbit, rabbit. What was that about? And then I moved on, and I never thought about it ever again. Some have suggested rabbit, rabbit is considered lucky because rabbits are notoriously fertile and heavily associated with spring and renewal. But we have no idea why people say rabbit, rabbit, or why there's a related superstition around rabbit's feet.
Couldn't tell you.
Yep. No, nobody can.
No.
I did so much research into this, and nobody was ever like,
this is why the rabbit's foot is lucky.
Like this. Yep. So now we're going to move into wind chimes. Warding evil spirits. Yeah, and how they ward evil spirits.
I love wind chimes.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is we can't have any here because Otis is afraid of them.
I have wind chimes.
I would love. I like the ones.
My dog is afraid of everything.
I love the ones that make those like deep tones, like the deep.
So do I. The bamboo ones.
I like the bamboo ones, and then the ones that have the very long metal ones that have.
You're talking deeper.
Yes, like those, like almost like a gong, like a big gong. Oh, I love it.
That is so interesting.
I'm not a big fan of the twinkle twinkly ones. I mean,
those that you're talking about is actually known as Fang Ling, which is a Chinese wind chime, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
It's also really funny to me that you say that because you do the what are
singing
those
bowls?
Yes, thank you. It's interesting that you find that sound. It's related.
I like a really full bodied sound. That's what I like.
And I think there could be a reason. So wind chimes is actually maybe one of the shortest on this episode of information, because there's actually not a whole lot out there as to why wind chimes. I'm just giving you a disclosure. But wind chimes are a type of percussion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Suspended tubes, rods, bells, or other objects that are often made of metal or wood. The tubes are rods or suspended along like types of weight from the surfaces. So like those are little beads or little metal things, and they can strike when they or another wind catching surface are blown, if that makes sense. So obviously everybody knows, like wind blows, they hit each other, they make a noise.
Mm-hmm.
Wind chimes have a long and varied history, with development spanning cultures, continuous, and uses. They're all different. Archaeologists find wind chimes themselves dating back to almost 5,000 years.
Wow.
So they found evidence of wind chimes 5,000 years ago. In Southeast Asia, remains of wind chimes made from bone,
Ew.
wood, bamboo, and shells were found at 3000 BC.
Oh.
Chimes were thought to ward off evil spirits, which is why I think bones could have been used.
Bones of who? Bones? Why bones?
I don't know, but just remember when
rabbit
we
bones?
remember, gross. Remember when we did the Tooth Fairy episode in like our old podcast, Booze Clues, that we never launched?
Mm-hmm.
Tooth Fairy came from the Viking tradition Tooth Fay.
Yeah.
Which means a fee for the tooth. They used to give their children fee because they thought their children's teeth gave them good luck.
Yeah. Do you think it kind of falls into that kind of category?
Yes, I think people think bones are good luck.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I didn't even put that in my notes here. That's
popped in your head. Look at you.
I know. Thank you. I just need like a little like pat on the back. So a more practical use is in Indonesia, which they use them to scare birds from crops. Which
That's
to me is
fair.
Mm-hmm. The Chinese use the music of chimes to express emotions, establish an atmosphere of peace and harmony. Buddhists like to hang hundreds or even thousands of wind chimes, depending on the temple.
Mm-hmm.
It's a temple, I think. Or bells on temple shrines. Stuff. Causing, like during a breeze, almost an overwhelming like amount of sound. It's like a big sensation of sound. The Chinese created the fengling, which is similar to today's modern wind bell. Fenlings, so it's what you're talking about. They're really like rich sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Fenlings were hung from shrines and were meant to like ward off evil spirits and attract benevolent ones. When you do research on wind chimes, this is kind of the first. Fenlings are the first that you kind of hear. And by the way, there's a dash in between. But when I looked up how to say it, it's fenglings. It's not fengling, but there is a dash. So when you look it up, it's feng, F-E-N-G, dash L-I-N-G-S. As for why there actually isn't too much information that I could find, like why is there evil spirits attached to this? There's nothing other than the fact that it brings up vibrations in a person listening to them. Therefore, getting rid of evil. That's all I could find.
Literally, I was going to think it must be a vibration thing.
Which is why it's funny that you like deeper sound.
It's not even just deeper. It's just a full, like tinkling is cute, but I like the.
That is so weird because I like the full sounds. I love bamboo ones. I also love kind of the tinkling.
See, but the bamboo ones will give you, they still have more of a full sound. Like
They
they
do.
sound round as opposed to tinkling sound pointy.
Yeah. So I give you all of that. I just think I love the sound of rain. So I don't mind those little ding, 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 ding. Especially if it's fast when the wind blows, where I am in Northern California.
Yeah.
Actually, Phoenix gets a lot of wind too.
Yeah.
Am I
It's
allowed
windy
to say
today,
that?
actually.
So I feel like we're in pretty good places for wind chimes.
I can't have them.
Like, not even in a space that's yours.
No, Otis is afraid of them.
So, like, is there a space Otis cannot go?
No, Otis has free reign.
Okay. Who are you?
He goes outside on the patio.
I know, but like, you can't even have the corner of like do you have a yard?
No, we are on the second floor.
I think you should just put them up.
No, he's afraid of them. I think he barks at them.
Hellgaze. Ross will be like, no, Andra.
No.
But my vote is you just put them up.
No.
So, back to wind chimes. Due to world trade between East and the West, wind chimes began to gradually make their way over to the globe everywhere, arriving in Europe and America, like North and South. They say Americas, but I don't know why that doesn't roll off my tongue.
Well, the Americas
easily.
would be North and South.
That's what I mean. I know it says that, but I just need you to specify because I don't say America as well. I think that's
you just said
I
it.
don't know.
You said it great just now.
No, I say it fine, but it doesn't like
the brain doesn't like it. Okay.
But how do wind chimes at home attract good luck and prosperity?
I don't know. You tell me.
So, according to outofstress.com, you can look this up. It's also in other sources. They have just more direct route, so I stuck with them, but you can actually look it up and you will get more than 10 sources that say the similar or same things. So, number 1, I did not know this. Place your wind chimes in the right direction of your house. So, interesting enough, my wind chime is on the right direction of my house because of the wind in the air. According to this source, that's a very common thing. The right side of your house gets more air, more flow, more everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, I actually went outside and was like, where's my wind chime? And all of them, I have 4, all of them are on the right side from my front door. I don't even have one on the left side. Did I do that on purpose? Not even a chance. So, number 1, sounds good. Number 2, choose a wind chime with a proper number of rods. So, you will find many chimes with varying numbers of rods or bells. This number has a meaning. Most of the wind chimes you will come across contain either 6 or 8 bells, both of which are powerful numbers. Chimes with 6 or 8 bells will work best for attracting positivity. This does not make sense to me, and I need to put an asterisk on that. This does not make sense to me. The next sentence is, on the other hand, chimes with 5 bells are great for repelling negative energy. To me, bringing in positive energy or repelling negative energy seems the same.
No, there's a difference. You can absorb it, or you can repel bad, or you could be neutral.
I'm so glad you have that opinion, because to me, you're still saying the same thing. Number 3, my lord. Choose hollow metal chimes. The best effect. Always try to go for all metal wind chimes to ensure that the metal rods pipes are hollow. Hollow rods produce the best vibrations to help dispel negativity or attract positivity. Refer back to number 2 for 6, 8, or 5 bells, okay? Number 4 is to set an intention before you hang the chime. To magnify the positive effects of wind chimes, consider setting an intention before you hang them. Intention setting can be as simple as holding your chime and reciting a positive mantra or desire for a few minutes while imagining your energy flowing into the chime. For instance, you can say a mantra like, bring in positive energy, or fill the surroundings with good luck and prosperity and positivity. Also note, refer back to number 2. 6 and 8 are positive. 5 is bad. This is not in their notes. So if you go to the link, this is just me saying these things. But okay. Number 5, spend a few minutes daily listening to the chime. This makes sense to me. I love listening to wind chimes. It brings up your vibration. It does everything. I'm just being silly when I'm making fun of them without making fun of them and saying refer back to number 2. But I actually do think number 5, like listening to the wind chimes that you put outside, does make me feel great. So
Well, I would hope so. If you didn't like the sound of them, why would you hang them?
I love them. I love the sound of them. So I cannot debunk it at all. They're fun. And the whole reason behind what I found is good vibes. Bring in good vibes. That's
6 and 8.
Yes. But if you want to repel, 5. Don't forget. All right. So last, we have, I know it's kind of shorter, kissing on a new year. I did this obviously because of the
That's
new
supposed
year.
to be good luck?
Why did you think that you did it?
I don't know. I didn't know it was supposed to be good luck. I thought it was just kind of like a first kiss of the new year. Yay!
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always knew it was good luck.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's actually, some people think that if you're in a relationship, the kiss on the new year brings in like extra to your relationship. But other traditions, if you're single, you're actually supposed to kiss the first person you see.
Ew, that could be dangerous.
That's never been my experience, but yeah, I've never done anything ever like that. So glad you haven't either.
I'm not gonna be like, you, come kiss me, I saw you first.
I'm also not gonna advocate that you do that, so
yeah, no.
PSA, don't touch anyone's mouth unless you kind of know where it's been.
Ew.
Tradition of starting the new year with a smooth can be traced back to the winter solstice festival, Saturnalia, which in ancient Rome, Saturnalia was a mid-December pagan festival that honored Saturn in agriculture.
Oh.
This celebration included decorating homes with greenery like wreaths, grand feast, gift giving, and socializing with friends and family. Eventually, Saturnalia merged into 12-day-long Christian celebrations of Christmas.
That's 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah. Which traditionally stretched past the new year. So, originally, this was Christmas. And then eventually it got stretched into a whole new year and into a whole other holiday. In medieval times, the season was believed to have been nearly as wild, if not worse, as it was in pagan times. So plenty of intoxication, frivolity, fertility. In medieval Europe, the kissing tradition evolved out of a masquerade ball, where midnight unmaskings were punctuated by kiss to cleanse and therefore secure a year of good fortune. This was explained by Ralph E. Long, who is a historian.
Midnight unmasking.
Yes,
Oh,
midnight unmasking and then a kiss.
Are you actually cute? No. No kisses.
I mean, that kind of is how it feels, but have you ever dated somebody and you see them really drunk and you're like, ew?
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Anyways, in my personal experience, so you're a no, period. No, period. I have actually liked a person until I saw them drunk. And that's where I'm also thinking, like, you know, your mask comes off when you're super drunk.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
There was a point to this, I swear. So mask comes off and the person's drunk and you get to see like this little vulnerable version of them, or unfiltered.
Yeah,
Sorry,
unfiltered is a good word.
It's an unfiltered version of that person. Some people say the truest version of a person is when they're drunk. I'm not a subscriber of that.
Really?
I think some alcohol makes people...
I've always heard, drunken words speak a sober heart.
So I do think that. I think the words spoke, particularly if it's to something that's when they're sober, like a relationship or something frustrating to them. I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not always agree that a drunk person shows all of their true colors. Like, some person could be angry on whiskey and like just fine on wine.
Oh yeah, I was actually during New Year's Eve, like I got pretty toasted on some bubbles, and that was fun. That's a good time.
Yeah. So I don't like, personally, I get a migraine with bubbly no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I cannot have sparkling wine or champagne, which I have had actual champagne from France. So I've tried both. I will say actual champagne was a little better, but I do get a massive headache no matter what from it. Or whiskey sometimes makes me like a little bit more like, I guess, sensitive. If I have too much and I'm not in the right crowd. But I think, not in a bad way, not necessarily. I think I don't know, like I like to just sip on whiskey. I don't like to drink whiskey, but I'm a wine drinker. So I drink wine all day and I'll be happy-go-lucky,
Mm-hmm.
So I do think a mask comes down, so I understand that portion. Hogmanay, which is celebrated today in the Scottish equivalent of a New Year celebration, complete with socializing, dancing, and singing. So I saw Hogmanay and Hogmanay. I heard them pronounced both ways.
Interesting.
Scottish tradition, so I think it's Hogmanay. I stuck with Hogmanay by a choice.
Okay.
You might think I was wrong, and it's Hogmanay.
I have no idea.
I heard both. But just a disclosure. In modern America, the midnight kiss tradition has origins in English and German folklore. A New York Times article from 1893 notes, the earliest documentation of the tradition in New York City where German immigrants would gather among like another for the new year over food and drinks and spread kisses and hugs throughout the crowd. As the New York Eve's kiss became like mainstream beyond German immigrants, New York started doing fireworks. Then the firework ban led to the ball drop. So in case you didn't know, we have a ball drop because fireworks are banned in New York. I did not know that.
I did not know that when the fireworks were banned in New York.
Never once thought, why do we drop the ball? I'm sad to say, it never even occurred to me to wonder.
Me neither.
So,
I was like, the ball drop, okay.
Hollywood adopted the big kiss as a form of making your own fireworks. So they they show off a kiss. And this is shown in like movies like When Harry Met Sally and Bridget Jones' Diaries. Like that is the fireworks. That is the moment on New Year's.
Gotcha.
I found that so interesting. So just to like recap that in case you missed it. Essentially, modern American New Year's Eve tradition started with German
Germans in New
immigrants.
York.
They just did that. I just want to recap that for anyone because I thought that was so cool. If we didn't have German immigrants, what would our New Year's look like?
Who knows?
Exactly. And then I also thought it was so interesting that it's because of the ban of fireworks that the ball...
We do the ball drop.
It's so interesting. So Vogue put out an article. This is Vogue. You can look it up. It's about New Year's. They put in there, how long should a New Year's kiss be?
Ew. Ew. Mind your business.
So, they said, once you're sure you've got the go-ahead, the length of the kiss is up to the kisser and the kissee. Period.
What year was that?
This, like, past year.
I hate that. I hate that very much.
I put in quotes, yes. That is correct. For all kisses, I think.
All kisses. Please make sure you're allowed to kiss the other person. And then you
Make sure you have the go-ahead. And then make sure
consent.
you do not over-kiss.
Ew. Who likes to be overkissed?
There's a pattern and a rhythm. You don't have it, get it.
Ugh.
Just know if one person is constantly pulling away from you,
they're done.
You probably have a longer kissing pattern than they do.
You have been no more kisses from you. Thank you.
Yep. So this is the end of our Superstitions episode. I just wanted to end with the New Year's Vogue.
They
actually have a lot of information in there.
Do they?
So you can look up. They do. I read the whole article and they have some fun facts in there, but I did think it was absolutely so funny that they headlined. I need you to know this. They headlined.
How long?
How long should a New Year's kiss be? Question mark.
None of your business. That's pretty much what they said.
Well, it's kind of what they said, except for the fact that they didn't say. Like, I would have so respected none of your business.
They should
have. In there.
That didn't even have to be mentioned. Why'd they bring it up if they're gonna be like, actually, you don't get
why'd they headline it? It's headlined. It's not just yes. So Vogue, do better.
I literally was gonna do better.
Yeah. Try harder. Do better. Some things are meant to the people, you know, like it's a case by case. Just know headlining it doesn't make it better. Vogue.
Well, that was fun. Thank you. Oh.
What is your favorite, Nathan? This is in my notes.
I like the wind chimes. Like,
interesting.
You like the wind chimes for luck.
So I actually loved learning both the Friday the 13th and the end, the New Year's kiss. It's funny that
you were into that one.
Is not even involved. I just think it's so fun.
Yeah.
And it was actually an easier, let me tell you, out of them, it was maybe the easiest research.
That makes sense.
And that's not why I love it. It was so much funner because I didn't have to go through, funner is not a word, it was so much more fun because I didn't have to go through 10 different links and stuff per research information. I didn't have to sift as hard. Everything says the same thing about New Year's Eve traditions. It's just sweet. It comes from this idea and, you know, it's nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you follow any of these? That's my last question and then podcast over.
I mean, New Year's Eve kiss, I tried to have one.
Tried?
Yeah, I tried to have one.
Did you drink too much champagne? Do you mean try or tried?
I try to. It's nice to have a New Year's.
Try?
It's nice to have a New Year's Eve kiss. I mean, I've had New Year's Eve.
I thought you said tried, and I was like, did you try once?
No,
Like
no.
it sounded like you were saying.
I got a New Year's Eve kiss for 2020. It was very nice, very sweet.
So did I.
Yeah, that's good, and I'm glad to have that. I try to have one if I can, but I've had New Year's Eves where I don't.
So you don't think wind chimes ward evil spirit?
I think they can.
That's the one I was actually more interested on. Great for New Year's. I figure everyone follows that. But for you, because you do the sound.
I'm more about the bringing the vibe up. That's kind of where I sit.
So why do you do your sound bowls?
Frequency, because it's the vibration, raises your vibration, which is good for health and stuff inside your body.
Can you explain that for 2 seconds and then we'll move on?
I just did.
I just mean, do you think that that's good luck and wards off other people, or do you think that it...
Not so much good luck as when it comes to the singing bowl as much as it is for your own personal health and well-being. It's not. So
you just think the vibration is good for a person?
Yeah. So that's also why when you hear it, it feels nice to hear. It feels good, which is why I like round sounds.
I did read that. Yeah.
But when it comes to sound bowls, it's different than what a wind chime would provide.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious what your insight particularly was on that one.
Yeah.
You don't follow a rabbit's foot or Friday the...
I love Friday the 13th. I just don't subscribe, really. It's just a day, and I just be like, what's going to happen today? Nothing. Okay.
Or something, and then I'm going to
Concordia in Italy. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening today. Tune in next week. Make sure to like, follow, share. And if you have any superstitions that you follow that we haven't mentioned before, let us know what those are. I'm curious.
Please. I'd love to do more.
All right, we'll see you next week on That's Peculiar. Bye! Thank you so much for listening to That's Peculiar. If you have a peculiar story you would like to hear, please leave a comment or send us an email at perpetuallypeculiarpod@gmail.com.